Now this is what I think is one of the funniest things I've ever seen on TV. But somehow it's never made it to TV blooper type shows, especially the Nine Network show 20 to 1. And unfortunately the following may lose quite a bit in translation, as you really have to know those involved, and probably would have had to see it live to fully appreciate the sweet irony of it all. Mark Chopper Reed, a convicted murderer and gangster who achieved celebrity status in the late 90s as an author, amongst other things. His notoriety, which included getting his ears cut off and stating that he never killed anybody that didn't deserve it, was the basis of the movie Chopper, which starred Eric Bana. Alan Jones, a sanctimonious self-righteous commentator whose radio talkback show was once described by a former Prime Minister of Australia as middle-of-the-road fascism. Kerry Ann Kennelly. Even though 90% Botox, Kerry Ann is somehow still able to keep a hold of the gig as a host of daytime television that, even though it's gone through several changes in time slots and format, still manages to maintain a constant standard of trivial mediocrity. In 1998, there was a so-called public uproar when Chopper Reed appeared drunk on the Elle McFeast show on the ABC. According to the tabloid press, apparently the Australian public was incensed that taxpayers' money was used to fund his appearance on the show.
Is that right, Chop? Bit of a mess? When you're through?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah? Well, that's right.
Back then, Kerry Ann was bravely attempting to host the flailing midday show, even though she was suffering from severe self-infatuation, a symptom of which is being self-delusional to the point of believing people actually took her seriously.
We've decided not to go ahead with the interview with Chopper Reed live on this program. I guess it's what you call a value judgment, but we took the high moral ground. There was a lot of heated debate about it. We might be wrong, but the question remains, I think, the question to be asked is, should a convicted killer and torturer be given publicity or not? To discuss the issue, we welcome broadcaster Alan Jones.
Although he was a little pissed off the studio wasn't big enough to accommodate his high horse, Alan Jones still set about telling the Australian public why we should be incensed and outraged.
Well, it could only happen on the ABC, and taxpayers fund that sort of stuff, and I think responsible and decent Australians who are taxpayers find that whole treatment absolutely horrific and appalling.
This went on for a few minutes when the show then pats through Chopper, who'd rang the station to tell Mr. Jones to pull his head in. But to his credit, Alan Jones didn't flinch. I mean, why should he? He's superior to Chopper, not only intellectually, but morally.
If we turn the society to a situation where people please themselves about how they deal with those whom they don't like, then who is to be the next victim?
Yeah, well, people who throw stones better make sure they don't live in glass houses, Alan.
Well, we're not talking about anyone living in glass houses, Chopper.
Yeah, well, I never got arrested in a public toilet in London.
Yeah.
Hang on, what did Chopper say?
Yeah, well, I never got arrested in a public toilet in London.
Yeah.
Oops, that's right, we'd all forgotten. In December 1988, Mr. Jones was arrested, not for one, but for 2 counts of outraging public decency by behaving in an indecent manner when visiting a toilet block in London's West End. Ouch! How was Mr. Jones going to respond to this?
Oh, Chopper, I'm sorry. I'm now pulling the plug on this. I actually have no desire to listen to anything else that you have to say. Thank you very much for calling. That's as polite as I can possibly be.
Oh, damn it. He didn't respond. In fact, we never saw Mr. Jones on the midday show again. Oh, well, I suppose we better watch it again to make up for that.
If we turn the society to a situation where people please themselves about how they deal with those whom they don't like, then who is to be the next victim?
Yeah, well, people who throw stones better make sure they don't live in glass houses, Alan.
Well, we're not talking about anyone living in glass houses, Chopper.
Yeah, well, I never got arrested in a public toilet in London.
Yeah.
Oh, Chopper, I'm sorry. I'm now pulling the plug on this. I actually have no desire to listen to anything else that you have to say. Thank you very much for calling. That's as polite as I can possibly be.